So we come back from the commercial break. We hear somebody say, just to recap for the audience, sensors are still down, sir. I can't get anything on the planet. And there's something going on at the the place where we beamed them down to. This I can't tell. And that's when the screen comes on, Ward, and you see Reagani Vost. It's not a great signal. Like she's clearly not using high-end tech. Uh, but she said, Lieutenant Ward, thank you for bringing me my ship.
Lost. Have you told to return yourself to a prison cell?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I did manage to get out of the trap that you and your captain and crew put me in last time. That was no small effort and expenditure of resources. But I'm here now, Ward.
Well, let's ensure that by the time we're finished with you, there's not enough ashes to scatter at a place you call home.
He says, well, that's an excellent thing for you to say. Let's see how it works out on your ship. And she will cut the comms there. Would you please make a control plus command roll, difficulty 3, Ward?
Um, do any of my focuses apply? Is this
Not
or is this
as such. This is
okay?
this is a mental attack upon you.
Okay, okay. Uh, that makes sense. I guess well, that seems difficult. What is our momentum pool? Zero. Of course it
Yes.
is. Um, I should shoot my bolt with my determination, maybe. Because I don't feel like
Generate
the
some momentum potentially then.
yeah. Um, but I guess the question is, what is my independence and self-reliance value enough to
I,
spend determination?
I think that's more than fair given what's about to potentially occur.
Yeah. Okay, so let me grab my two dice and roll. Uh, so that is two successes on the dice
Two successes on the
and
dice.
two
Two,
from
yeah.
determination.
So you get a momentum that you can throw into the pool. Uh, what I think it is you will feel a kind of a splitting headache, and you will look up and you will see a tubes running out, skin patchy, vision of Adira Lee standing by your your chair, the same one as in your dreams that you've been having, reaching out for you. How is it that you fight that off? That essentially trying to use that memory to break you.
Um, I think I am. I mean, first of all, I think I'm sitting back in the command couch, right, under this assault, and maybe I'm remembering something that Adira said to me. Uh, you know, maybe after a tough away mission, um, something along the lines of uh, that she believed I was ready for this, even if I didn't.
Nice. And it will do that classic Star Trek when you fight off the Spectre. We see it do that, you know, line kind of folds in and then vanishes thing as you fight off that mental attack. and you hear somebody's like clearly been speaking to you. Captain, Captain orders?
Senior staff to the captain's red room. Get Mr. Varric up here as well.
Okay. Um, let's let's visit with Mr. Varick before you get called up from there. I think that you would have gotten an alert come through because you monitor for your patients that there's some chatter apparently. Ensign Farraga has gone missing.
I say I'm in sick bay, and I say, computer locate Ensign Fargo.
We are unable to locate Ensign Farga. Internal sensors are down.
Uh, Computer, uh where was Ensign Fargo last before the sensors went down?
There's a brief thing. Security found Ensign Farga's comm badge just outside the Jeffrey tubes on level 37.
Uh, Computer, I'm sorry, Varric to security.
And I think you will hear a perhaps harried uh, uh, um, uh, Tavalic go, Doctor, we're having a situation right now. What do you need?
I'm trying to locate Ensign Farga,
You're not the
and
only one. I am as well.
great. Where did you last detect her?
We are attempting to hunt her down right now.
On board the ship, or
Yes, yes, on board the ship.
is there
Uh,
anything I can help with?
well, can you repair sabotage sensor systems?
I cannot.
Then no.
Uh, it says the computer told me you found her Jeffrey's or your her comm badge in front of the Jeffrey's tube.
We believe that that was the method that she used to access and sabotage the sensor systems.
So she
At
sabotaged them.
least at this point, that's what we are believing, sir.
I uh thank you, Varric out. Vulcans are terrible at just hanging up.
Absolutely.
Um, I feel like I'm going through. I feel like I've set up the computer to monitor her cybernetic implants,
Ooh,
and so I kind of
interesting.
want to go through the records. And I'm happy to make a roll for that, but also happy to
Yeah,
be
I think
interrupted to go to the
yeah,
ready room.
let's have you start a task. Like because it feels like what you'll need to do is like the medical sensors aren't down, the ship sensors are down, so you're kind of trying to repurpose the medical sensors to do this. Does that
Well, I'm
seem
also
reasonable?
I kind of want to look through the logs to see had there been any changes in her cybernetics
Oh,
just
interesting.
before
Oh
she
yeah.
disappeared. Yeah.
Then let's have you make a reason plus medicine roll.
And I
Uh,
assume my cybernetics focus
yeah, I think so.
applies.
Difficulty two, let's say.
I got a 2.
So two successes. Uh, she has had some more of those uh, extreme REM activity
Mm.
episodes. Her cybernetics have picked up on that. She spoke with you about the various dreams that she'd been having, and it seems like maybe that has accelerated in the last couple of days. Does that feel like a reasonable answer?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And you'll get Ward, the acting captain, comes over comms and calls you to the captain's ready room.
And because I'm me, I say, Captain, I'm in the middle of something. Is it urgent?
And Mr. Varric, you'll find it is very urgent.
Very well. On my way.
And we're going to cut away from that. We're going to cut down to the planet Vate, Devel. We've also got our supporting character here, Lieutenant Tofir, is there under Dunna's control. Um, Varric, who would you like to play in this scene as a supporting character?
I could do Juris, Ensign Juris,
Okay.
the tactical officer.
Okay. So you're down as part of the security team then there.
Just as
Uh,
a point of curiosity, would you be able to be one of the renunciates as a supporting character? Like,
no, no,
no.
because it
Okay,
counts
cool.
against the crew stuff.
Ah, okay, cool. I just wasn't clear on that. Like, if you could just make an NPC out of the NPCs that are already there, right? Like, yeah, cool. Anyway, sorry, that was always
No,
the
no,
minutes to get
it's
started.
interesting approach. Um, so the two of them, the two renunciates, and again, going back to the NPCs, that's Velek and Scythiel, have kind of gotten you up and released, and they've explained the situation to you. And I think it's at that point, as you are there, like talking about what your next steps are, one of the renunciates comes running in and will shout at Velok and will say, "There's a chain or force, massive, coming down this way. They're riding fast. 40, maybe 50 men on their way, arms. They have the House of Forces and chains. They're coming." And he will kind of freeze there, uh, like again, not sure what to do. Um, I'm going to give you the command opportunity to take charge here.
A chamber force? Is that what he said?
He said it's a force from the House of Chains.
Force from the House of Chains. Right.
Yes,
Okay. Right. Um, is there anywhere we can hide? Or is there a route to this astropath you need to take us to?
we could we could try and get out. There are some exits from here, but we'd have to move quickly. And I think that's the point at which Scythiel says, "If you're with us, Captain, uh, we will have to leave a few people behind to try and draw their attention, but we can get you and your companions out of here."
Starfleet doesn't leave anyone behind. Uh, Dr. DeBell, I need solutions. The phasers, the tricorders, can you rig a trap for these people?
Do we have our phasers? Weren't we
Yes.
disarmed?
Oh, they would yeah, we would assume that by this point,
Okay,
plot
gotcha.
point wise, why? Yeah.
Right.
We've got Devel. We also have the engineer that Ward is playing as well.
Yes, I'm delegating this to my science officer to
Okay.
delegate it further to the engineer if needed.
Subcontractors.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Lieutenant Tafir. I think we can jury rig some sort of obstacles for these House of Chains.
Not non-lethal, of course, is
That would be ideal.
doable. Yeah, doable. With a, and he looks at the the returned weapon that obviously he's not very comfortable with. I mean, this is perfect.
Yeah.
Uh,
Base thinking is that this is a group of psychics. Everyone here is psychic, right? So like a mechanical trap is probably not something that they're expecting given their low level of technology so far.
uh,
Um, if we have a medical device, maybe we could give them all a splitting headache, right? That's even more than an explosion. Would that
so
affect their psychic powers?
possibly, I would say you have if everyone you have a certain equipment out, set of points that you would have, which includes like the phaser and the tricorder, and you have a little bit of variable stuff. So if everybody basically contributes of the four of you a point of gear towards this, combining that with the stuff that is present, I think that forms a good basis. Does that seem reasonable?
It does. Vate will give up his phaser and his tricorder, given that he carries around a magical blade all the
Okay.
time. Anyways, you know,
Uh, so let's have this done. I think I want separate roles from Devel and from our uh, Tofir. And what I'm going to do is that's going to give me a set of successes that are going to go towards slowing the pursuit down. Does that seem like a reasonable way to handle it?
Yep.
No,
So let's start with Tofir. That feels like reason plus. Let me see that reason. Meticulous analysis. Actually, I think this is daring plus engineering.
sure. Um, I'm not. If we're jury rigging phasers and tricorders into this kind of tripwire thing, is tricorder operation a good focus, or is it a little bit outside the normal remits?
I'm going to give that to you.
can,
So, what are
can
we?
Commander Vate assist?
11-4? Oh,
Yeah, can I assist with that?
Sure, you can assist one of the attempts. So let's
Let me.
start with your roll, and then Cameron Vate will have you roll a 1d20 towards this.
so that's two.
Two
Two
successes.
successes.
All right. And then Commander Vate, daring plus engineering.
That's a success.
Okay, so we got three successes on the table right now. Jerez, do you want to assist Devel?
Yeah, let's
Devel,
do
can
it.
I ask you for daring plus science?
Sure, sure. I'll gladly take that
Okay.
over. Okay, 13 on this. That's definitely two successes.
Two successes.
Yeah, I don't think none of my focuses apply.
Oh, so
So,
it's just one success then, right?
well, it's 3 and 8. So
You only get a critical if you have a focus that applies there,
I rolled a 3 and an 8,
right?
which are both under
I thought
13.
I saw an 18 there.
No, the eight's highlighted.
No, I think
Oh,
it's 18 and a 3.
God, that's annoying. I got
Sorry.
I got the same the will problem because it was on the edge, but it looked like the 8 was
Oh,
glowing.
okay.
Yeah,
So
I
you
have to
got
click those numbers. Okay, one success.
one
Yeah.
success. So we've got four so far. And then Jurez, daring plus science.
It's just a 10 for me. I roll one die to
Yep.
assist?
So we got
Useless.
four successes here. Uh, so Commander Vate, like, tell me what you're doing. Actually, what's the montage? Devel, Ward, Jerez, what is the montage we see of you setting up the trap? Just give us a quick
I think,
swing by.
yeah, I think, Vate says, just like the Cardassians used to do. Set up phases, plant the phases here and here, and Devel, Jerez, we need to rig them to the tricorders so that they set off. And everyone, moving with Starfleet efficiency like they do suddenly when they are given clear orders.
Devel, what do we see of you in this moment?
I think she's doing a lot of the geometry of it, like the mathematics of like, all right, no, here's the best angle for the tripwire based off like height of the other people that she's seen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's like,
Juris, what about you from your security background here?
Yeah, I'm installing the phasers in the right place and having to be corrected a lot by
Okay.
Develop.
And what about for Tofir? It's the first time I've
I
kind of
think we
seen him work
see,
on screen.
yeah, I think we see Topher like punching in the buttons to make sure that, we have a little time delay to make sure people are still inside the field, but maybe more than one of them. And then, he kind of smirks to himself and we see him like mute the tricorder so it doesn't like give off a little bleep when it goes through every single subroutine.
Okay. Excellent. And you get this set, and then Scythiel kind of takes charge to show you the way. But this is a kind of command leading Captain Vate, kind of you getting people aligned. You've made the declaration that no one gets left behind. So daring plus command.
Cool. Well, I'm pretty good at those. What's the difficulty?
I think right now the difficulty is two, given how many successes you got. So potential for generating some momentum here. I'll save my threat for later.
Uh, okay, I think I'm just gonna roll the 2 die.
Okay.
Yeah. Boom. 2 successes, and I don't think any of my focus is particularly going to that. Search and rescue would be the stretch, I think, but
Yeah.
yeah.
So you will find spaces in this old colony where there's been cracks in the plascrete. You will find your way through it. I think you will, come out the side. You can see kind of the dust cloud of these horse-like animals that are there. They didn't want to CG them, so they've put head ridges on the horses to do that. But there are some figures that are in armor. Some of them have conventional weapons. Some of them have some odd ones. There is definitely a leader to them. We kind of get a shot of them off. I think we see the the chaining knight. It broke a Zaith, the pale complexion that seems to suggest blood again from the Anar that has come down through many generations. He has those white eyes that the Anar sometimes have, but they will approach carefully. You will see a couple of them. They're not the main people, but secondary people are using their telekinesis to help them move barriers across. And I think then they get to the entrance of that when the first like stun blast and explosion starts off, and Commander Vate, you can make the run to get to territory. What do you think the terrain is that they're taking you into? Are we talking forest? Are we talking mountains? Are we talking swamp? I want to let you set that up, Fate.
Oh, I mean, there's a time-honored tradition of meeting strange psychic mystics in swamps, right? But I think some forests,
Okay.
like trees, like woodlands, dense sort of like tall pines, like lots of like when you those like sort of woods that look like just row upon row, like a sort of like an American grid system almost,
Mhm.
like big gaps in between them, but just like as far as the eye can see, going in any direction.
Dense woodlands, certainly to your strength, Dr. DeVal. Um, and we will see you all kind of vanish into the woods as Cethiel and the captain kind of lead, and the group rushes out. Uh, I'm going to cut from you two and the team on the ground. I want to come back to Ward. So Ward, we know Varric is in the room. We know Tatasa is in the room. I assume that Tvilic is in the room.
Yeah, Philip, I'm sure, is annoyed at being dragged away from the chase, but needs must, I think. And I'm not sure who else. Do we have Dr. Wynn or maybe Kamalo as part of the
That
staff?
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
When we come in, what are you saying to the crew? What are you telling the team here?
yeah, I think I'll say it just so that we're all aware. It seems that Farga um, has sabotaged the ship. Given the call we have just received, it appears that Vost, or dare I say Nemesis, is involved. So first off, let's see if we can maintain control of the ship. We don't know what this is part of. I suspect that taking our sensors down is only the first step in a plan.
Tadili,
Let's find Farga, Tvalik. I know you've been trying, but the sooner we catch her, the sooner we stop the damage.
we've got men in every Jeffries tube looking for us, sir, but perhaps there's something we could do with the shields, something that would block whatever psychic interference is affecting Farga. Or, I mean, it'll be hard without the sensors, but we could do an orbital strike upon Vost's position if we could locate that. I mean, we are in a, it's the Kintsugi's never done such a thing, but we're more than equipped to erase anything down on that planet into dust.
Hmm. Well, Satasa, can you work with Mr. Varric? I believe he has extensive research on Farga's cybernetic implants. Also, Tatasa, the last time we had a crew member ditch their comms badge to do some skullduggery, Chief Engineer Latal used our transporter patterns to locate the crew member. Perhaps we can try some of the same.
Let
I
me
think
ask.
once we have,
Go on.
oh,
Go on. No, finish.
um, obviously, let's trust that our OA team are capable of doing whatever it is they're doing down there. But it would be nice to get all of our systems back up and running so we can check in on them.
And so we can accurately fire the phasers, sir.
If an orbital strike is on the cards, Tvalik, you'll be pressing the buttons. Rest assured.
Barrick, what have you told them about Farga's condition?
Nothing.
Nothing. Okay.
Yes, is doctor-patient confidentiality,
Okay.
and that supersedes, in my esteemed opinion, anything else. Yeah.
Well, then let's actually play that out. Ward, you are aware that Farga has been working with Varric. What do you put to Varric? You've called him up here.
So, Mr. Varric, do you think you're able to use the data you have on Ensign Farga's cybernetic implants to trace her location?
I had just started that process when you interrupted me. Yes.
That's a yes.
Yes. I had started the process. Yes.
Excellent. Have you any? Let me rewind. Last night I had a very strange dream, which makes much more sense now that Vost is involved. I thought it was just a bad dream, but no longer. We don't know if Ensign Farga had any such psychic assault last night.
I am not at liberty to say at the risk of violating doctor-patient confidentiality.
Okay. Well, presumably you can use some insight inside your own head, Mr. Varric, that you will not share with us, but which you will use to keep Farga safe.
That is my highest priority.
Okay.
And Dr. Wynn kind of interrupts there. Um, uh, Captain, like clearly not sure how to address you, Ward. Uh, are you saying that unusual dreams are significant here?
Well, if Vost is using her psychic abilities to assault us and possibly to suborn one of our crew members, then yes, I think it's
Then,
possible.
then you should be aware that about a half dozen crew members over the last week have come to me with some issues regarding vivid dreams.
Well, let's make sure that everyone, if we're able to make sure that people are working in larger teams during the search and during the repair efforts, then let's do so. I'll be maintaining on the bridge. If we need a security member to be watching over me, then let's make sure that happens.
Captain may also suggest a site consult to discuss your dreams. I would be
Well,
happy to schedule some time.
next weekend I'm free. Um, one last thing. We have a mission. The mission is to evacuate the planet. Obviously, given the numbers, that is no longer possible. Let's send a log of what we've discovered here to Starbase 66 via a Class 8 probe. Uh, they may be able to help us out. Or maybe they have got a genius over there who's got a bright idea.
So that sounds like a reasonable thing. No role necessary to send that comms out. Is there anything anyone else wants to do mechanically roll before I cut back to the planet? Okay.
Could create a trait for the ship?
What kind of trait?
High security.
Okay,
So,
yeah.
security, the
Security
security,
lockdown, that kind of thing.
yeah, the security team is everywhere,
Okay. So command plus security?
That seems about right for civic. Control plus security?
Yes, control plus security.
Yeah, so 14. Oof, it's one success and a 20.
Okay. So you do not create that trait.
No, but he could spend his determination, couldn't he?
He
Because
could spend his determination. Yeah, he has it, I believe.
yeah, why not? Won't be, leaving money on the table not to do so, right?
Absolutely.
So I just re-roll the one failed one, I guess.
Yeah, reroll the 20.
Oh, that's a 19, so that's terrible.
It is terrible. However, you don't give me a complication, and I was drooling over there for a moment to
Yes, yeah.
get that
As
out on
the
video.
entire security team turns out to have had bad dreams recently.
I think part of it, yeah, part of it is that the internal sensors are down. Like that's making it difficult. All the normal ways that you would use to coordinate are kind of off the table, and so you're having to go very much door by door, level by level, grid search kind of thing, which is unusual there. Um, so let me cut back down to the planet again, and I think we will see Vate, Devel, the our supporting characters kind of it's gotten to dusk. We've got a little bit of day for night lighting there. and the group has stopped, and Scythel will come to you, Captain, and will say, "We should stop here. Uh, we don't want to travel at night.
Why?
Uh, None of us are Farseers, and the others will have Farseers. If we are active and moving, they may be able to see. That is not the gift that we have."
Uh, they'll be able to see us better if we're moving.
If you are active and thinking and planning and worrying, you are more likely for them to sense you, especially after dark.
So what you're saying is that the only escape is in sleep.
Rest and relaxation, sleep is part of it. She will say, if we are in a static position, I have some gift for illusions. I can provide some modest cover if we are in one place.
Well, this is your territory. You lead the way. Uh, I'll, gather the Starfleet team, debrief on what was just told to me. And I know that this would provide me with a way of me relieving for stress as well, which would
It
be
will,
nice.
absolutely. I want to give a once around chance for a scene or a mechanical thing from each of you in this. Devel, let's kind of start with you. Do you want to interact with this character again? Are you still
Yeah, yes,
okay?
100%.
All
Yeah.
right.
I got that determination, so clearly I'm on the hook.
Okay.
Um,
So the
it's,
the the
it's a
the Rensees kind of settle in. They're clearly nervous. They're worried. You see them kind of looking
sharing
off in the distance.
rations or whatever.
Scythel will come over to you and will say, "You said you knew me?"
I don't, I feel like I've seen your face before in a dream, which is possible from the way you described your abilities, but
I am a reader and a projector and a little bit of illusions, but
have you been projecting for help recently?
since since the Lattice Empress came, things have become more dire. My my family has been captured. We are nervous, but
It's
it may
understandable.
be uh, I had a chance some time ago to touch the ring of the Echo Keeper, one of the gifts. Perhaps it was then, perhaps that sang out uh, into into the void.
Okay. You have to understand there's a lot that we're still trying to understand about what happened here.
The ring, each of the houses possesses a possesses its
And
gift,
I
its marker, its object.
like the commander's blade.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay.
They were part of the gifts that were brought to us by Agatus back in the day that he uncovered.
A goddess.
This is the psychic supremacist guy.
Gotcha. Yeah. When he went back in time, potentially. I don't know. Right.
It,
And
it-
these gifts amplify abilities?
they are, yes, um, they are different. They are animate in their own way.
Right.
That is, uh, yes.
Hmm. And that's and forgive me, know this might be difficult to describe without having the items before you, but were they in similar make and construction as the Commander's blade? Designs and
We can,
inlay?
when we see them, we can tell that they are
Well,
of
actually, can
of
you
the same.
project images of what they look like to me?
Yes, yes.
Because I want
Uh,
to try and do a roll here, I think.
okay. What kind of role do you want to make here?
Um, it's gonna be like trying to like, all right, are these all tied into the same culture, the same makers? Trying to think like, all right, were they discovered on this planet or did they bring them to the planet?
It's
Because we know
interesting.
these are made by the people, the species, the unknown species that made the Doomsday weapon like 100 more than 100 years ago. And she's basically going off her archaeology knowledge. I'm like, all right, are these of similar make and design?
Okay, let's do reason plus science for that.
Okay, with archaeology.
Archaeology as your focus there.
All right, so
I think this is difficulty 2 to kind of make a basic assessment here.
cool.
So 3 successes.
Yep, there you go.
So you're going to have one momentum left over. She shows you each of them. The ring is like a torque, like
Okay,
that kind of ring. Uh, there is a thing that looks like a crystal lantern for the House of Candles. There is a massive cut matrix gem. Uh, there is a sort of infinite loop chain, short one of those, and then there is another blade. They all bear similarities, like they're all clearly from the same design, and they're very similar to Vate's blade, but they're clearly not of the same series.
gotcha, gotcha.
Does that feel like a reasonable answer?
Yeah,
Okay. Do you want to put that last one in the pool?
yeah. I think I want to put it in the pool.
Okay.
I
Uh,
can't think of two questions to ask, so
sure, fair enough. What do we see jurors like? What's their reaction to this wildness here?
Um, I think he's really scared. Um, and I think he's holding his photon rifle very tightly and just looking around
Okay.
a lot. I think we made him human. I can't remember.
What?
Jordan?
And
Yeah, I think
Juris?
he's Bajoran.
Bajoran. Bajoran. Either way, not a psychic. So, pretty anxious about that angle too.
Absolutely.
The folks on the ground have they had dreams or not?
two of us
Not
have.
that we know of yet. Why don't you make a control plus command roll for me, Jerez?
Okay.
Difficulty one.
Surely, surely we can take. Oh, we squeaked out two, I think.
So two successes. So there is a bit where maybe for a second you think you hear something off in the woods, but you shake it off. Um, but I think enough to know, like to maybe confirm your nervousness and suspicions that there are
Something.
psychics out there somewhere hunting for all of you.
I picture him sort of holding on to the rifle very tightly, not wanting to discharge it, and then hearing something and scrambling for his tricorder, but then the noise stops. So he doesn't need to get his tricorder, but he holds up his rifle again.
Nice. What about for Tafir?
Yeah, I think there is maybe the other extreme from Ensign Jerez humming along a jaunty little tune under his breath and messing with the tricorder and his comms badge because, we've got to get comms back with the ship. That's kind of the number one rule, right? Of away teams are so Topher likes to think because yeah, he's trying not to think about the deep dark woods, maybe more successfully than Juriz. So yeah, trying to. I mean, obviously things are going on up in orbit that he's not aware of, but
Right.
thinking that maybe he has a solution to this comms problem.
Yeah, you are kind of working on it, trying to get it set. Do you want to make a roll to try and break through the interference?
Why not? That's
Okay. Reason plus engineering. I think it's difficulty 3.
reason plus engineering. I have my tricorder operation, which seems like it could be
Yeah.
useful. I will. Is our momentum 4? Maybe. No, let's leave it.
Okay.
I'll trust in my dice. Um,
Foolish.
foolish. One success.
One success. Yeah, there's something going on. It's just not working. Captain
Yeah,
Vake.
and I'll
Oh,
say I think the problem is in orbit, sir. I don't want to boost too much power to this, but yeah, I think there's a problem at the Kintsugi.
And I worry, I fear you might be right to fear. Good work, though. Keep it up. If you hear anything at all, let me know. And Vate will, having checked in with Tafir, will go past Juras, slap him on the shoulder, making him jump. Doesn't take a psychic to see that you're nervous, Juras.
Nope, I'm got it all under control, Captain. Everything's gonna be just fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
That's what I thought, Juras. Keep it up. Go past. Not a look over at Devel, who's probably like slightly closer than one would expect to Syphil, right? And Vate can read enough body language to give them a bit of space, I think. And yeah, he'll go over to our himbo in chief
mm-hmm.
to Velok Das. So, what do you know of the Roy?
Of the what?
The Roy?
Oh, the goddess with the Roy. Yes, I know. He is he is contained within the the he is contained within the Hall of the Ancients. Um, he is there. He is the original lattice. He is the original crystal, the matrix that the Empress has. He placed himself inside of there to remain and provide his wisdom.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like The Roy I knew.
You knew the Roy?
Oh, a long time ago for me. Even longer, I suppose, for you.
You must be ancient. Uh, uh, uh,
You never ask a girl her age.
oh, 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 yeah. And then they seem to go, do you not ask a guy their age too?
Don't worry about it.
Oh,
I am younger than I look.
you would have to be, because otherwise you would look very, very old.
Yes. But the, you understand that you stepped back. You're you are my culture's children. You are descended from the Outlands, the Farlands,
Yes.
and
That's
you
why
had
we wanted to return. We knew that we came from there, and with things going bad, we thought perhaps if we shouted, if we found a way to shout out into the void, we could far call and call back and summon something to take us, a vessel to take us to the far lands.
well, it must be fate because that's what we are here for. But things are much more complicated than we realize. This Farseer, the astropath,
Yes.
how will they help us?
Uh, he has he has avoided uh the conquest of the Lattice Empress because it's the thing with the Farseers. They are always they know ahead of time. They know things. They can see at a distance. They 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 probably see us even now. Um, uh, it makes them they can help. They can protect themselves in that way. It makes them odd to talk to sometimes, but they are fine. Um, uh, he may know a way, for a way. I mean, for you to to fight the Empress. I mean, you have a blade, right?
Blade. And if only I knew as much about it as Vost obviously does.
Perhaps the Roy does. I mean, it's the Roy who found the original treasures here on the planet.
Well, if you're telling me I have to ask Roy for his advice, then things really are bad down here.
And that feels like a good commercial break line to go out on. Let's take our break, and come back. Sound good? So I want to come back up to the ship. I feel like we've got four interesting people to see what they're doing. Varric, Tatasa, Ward, and Tavilik. Um, Ward, you're captain up there, so I want you to tell me what order you think we should go in for checking in with each of those people.
Um, Sorry, if I do this, I'm dictating like that. These are the three other characters people are going to be playing. So I don't know if do those sound like the three most interesting people for people to play?
I'm assuming the flag is off the table, so yeah.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah, okay.
wanted to play the yeoman, but I can't think of anything for her to be doing. So
Okay.
Well, if you want, we can hold off, and maybe you'll find something. We can have you go a little bit later and choose who you
yeah,
want to
sure.
be. Okay.
Administrative assistance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Ward, who do you want to have go first between you, Tavilik, and Varric?
So I think maybe Varric
Okay.
might go first. Yeah.
So Varric, what do we see you doing?
I am combing the logs of her cybernetics, and I had this idea when they were talking about dreams. I'm not sure. I don't know if Varric has had dreams. Um, but I think he was like, I wonder if I could pull up images of the dreams that she had. So this is me kind of doing more computer stuff. And maybe to make it interesting, if I recover anything, I do it through the holodeck, so I can sort of be inside of her dream. I can recreate and be inside of her dream.
Interesting. I like that. We do know that Vulcans do dream. So I think this is an interesting, challenging thing for you to do. I think this is going to be reason plus engineering for you.
Okay, to kind of dig through her cybernetic logs
Yeah, and to
and
kind of
see if I can
create
find.
the simulation that you want to do here. I will let you use your cybernetics though for the
Okay, great.
focus.
Uh,
Do you want to spend a momentum?
uh, that lets me roll another die. Is that right?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, I'll take one of those moments.
Okay.
What is the difficulty on this?
So uh, I think this is difficulty too because we're just trying to gather information right now. We're trying to get answers and such.
Right.
So difficulty two, you need 15 or less, and 4 or less are crits.
Oh my God. I rolled a 15. That was the best one. So I got
Well,
one.
you have the option. You could spend your determination now if you wanted
I
to
think I
re-roll.
am. I
Okay.
think I'm going all in.
Okay. So you can re-roll the 2 fails if you want. Hang on to the last die.
I think I could just click on it. Oh my God. Finally.
So you have 2 successes. Um, so what is it you want to know? Like what do you want to know? And like what are we going to like how we're on the holodeck, you're kind of recreating there. What is it you want to know?
I'm looking for um the moment in her. I think I'm just looking for any kind of evidence that would suggest that she she sort of lost control or that directed her to sabotage the ship.
Think you will pull it up and the 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 holodeck gets dark and suddenly very industrial and you will look around and you will see that green flickering light and the gray, and you will realize she thinks she's on a Borg ship. She she is trapped in a loop right now. Someone is doing this, and she is she is trying to sabotage the Borg ship, and is kind of being driven in that way. Does that seem like a fair
Yeah,
answer?
yeah. Um, are is anyone on the crew any kind of expert in Borg stuff?
No, I don't think so. Unless you want to create a supporting character who is a Borg expert.
Sure.
Okay.
We could have it be the yeoman.
Yeah. The Wolf 359 was an inside job guy.
False flag. Yeah.
Um, no, I don't think I need a. I don't think we need another character
Okay.
for this. Um, but I, um, I do say, Varric to Captain Ward. I think you should come to the holodeck.
Um, yeah, I'm not sure you should be calling me Captain, Mr. Varric, but
I don't know.
um, I will, in light of what I said about being paranoid about people who's been having dreams, I will direct a member of security to accompany us.
Okay.
Um,
So I do think we kind of get that like in between bit where clearly Varric has given you the briefing and told you what's going on, and you're there at the holodeck with Varric now being kind of clued in on this. So let's take up on that conversation, then we'll have your next action, Ward.
so, Mr. Varric, is there any way we can interrupt this? I don't know what they call it, illusions or whatever overlay on reality Vost
It,
has
it's a
sparked.
hallucinogenic loop, and um, I've only seen one example of this before, but it was not Borg implants. I do believe I can interrupt it, but I do need access to her systems.
I mean, direct physical contact, you mean?
I believe so, yes, or at least know where she is, because
Well, let's see if we can't embed you with Tivelic's security team. If you're able to be on hand, then I think that's where you can do the most good.
it also occurs to me that she believes she's on a Borg vessel, and it makes me wonder if we could create some kind of mapping between the Kintsugi and a Borg vessel, because she might be sort of following her instincts as to where to go on the Borg vessel.
Interesting. Do you want to use that to create a trait?
Yes,
Okay.
sounds great.
Uh,
Um, could I use my focus starship recognition if we have any files of on board cubes or something like that?
I like that. Let's have you roll, and Mr. Verrick can assist with your uh, uh, reason plus engineering roll. So,
Um, reason plus engineering. Okay.
yep. Let's start with you,
Um,
Mr. Ward.
what kind of difficulty are we talking about?
To create a trait is just difficulty two.
Okay. Okay. I'll just. Oh, I'll spend a momentum.
Okay.
Uh, uh, that is 7 and 8. And what did we say? Sorry, reason plus engineering is
Yep.
12. So that is two
Two
successes.
successes. Mr. Verrick, would you like to roll to see if we get an extra success on that?
Sure.
Just one die. Yes. So three successes. What do you want to call that trait?
What do we call it? I don't know. I think if we were scriptwriters, we'd come up with some good trait connecting the Kintsugi with Borg. So Kintsugi. I don't know. Uh, sorry, apologies.
Sounds good.
Kintsugi Borg overlay is what I'm going to call
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
There you go.
Adaptable
That's-
floor plan.
We'll do that. Got that? You've got one momentum. You can use that to ask a question, or you can throw it in the pool.
It, Dan, can you ask a question like, where is the next? Where's the next step if you were going to like completely destroy or triple a Borg cube,
What's the
something like
next most
that?
likely place she would go?
Yeah.
You would be heading to the weapons section.
I mean, do we cut to Tvilic then?
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. Tvilic, you've been told that the your likely next target is the weapons section.
Well, Tavili can obviously two yellow shirts with him.
Okay.
entering the weapons systems, like the bits that we don't really see, the inside of the weapons base, rather than just a tactical
Right.
console. And I'm kind of imagining something a bit similar to, like the Death Star control. So it's like a long tubes with like, seats and things in there and panels and things. And enter and all hand signals, like all of them carrying, I think, phaser rifles, right? Set to
Okay.
stun, obviously, but yeah.
Absolutely. Uh, I have spent a threat. Could I please have you roll daring plus security to dodge the phaser blast that comes at you, Tvilic,
Mhm.
as immediately as you come in.
Okay. He has a focus of small unit tactics.
I like it.
So daring plus security, that would
Let
be
me roll for my uh, thing here. I've got just one success
okay. So I just need one success to
to match
not.
it. Yep,
Okay, well then I won't spend any momentum.
good call.
Boom, two successes.
Two successes, so you got a momentum.
Yeah.
You could spend that to obtain information if you wanted.
Uh, where is Fargo firing at
It's
me?
not Farga. You will look up, and on a catwalk above you, you will see a Rigelian, Lieutenant Wearswalk, junior grade, and he shouts out as he fires again, "Die, you Klingon dog! Die! This is for my family!"
This is the guy who broke out, isn't it? Tried to kill the
Tried to
Klingon.
kill the Klingon prisoner, yes.
Yeah. What was his name again? Ensign
Where's Wash? He
Where's
is in
Wash?
the NPC tab.
Where's Wash? Don't undo years of therapy. As the return spire on stun, obviously.
Okay. Then that is, I think, daring plus security. I will roll for his attempt to dodge. I'll give him, oh gosh, he's very bad at this. I got one success with the cover.
Okay. Well, I am going to spend momentum now. We only got two momentum. Ah, thought we had
Been
more.
spending it down.
I thought we generated more, but I will give myself three die. And Philip has 14 in his control plus security for returning phase of fire.
Look at that. What does a critical look like on this, Tvilic?
I think it is, as he yells, die, 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 Klingon. He gets hit by the stun and he's sort of like, staggers, and he's on top of that gantry, right? And he tips over. And as he tips over, to the like dives forward and catches him before he, like intercepts him from running, tucks and rolls and cradling his head, and just pats him on the shoulder and goes like, there, Doctor Dr. Barakel, we can't wait to hear all about this, I'm sure.
Um,
Captain, Captain Ward, more crew members seem to be falling under the influence. Farga might be down here, but Ensign Warewash just attacked me, believing that I was a Klingon.
Good to know. Thank you, Tvilic.
I recommend all
Is that was Werewash on Dr. Wynn's list or
oh yes.
okay?
I
Well, let's see if we can establish the I don't know the loyalty, if that's the right word, of the remaining people on that list.
Okay. Essentially confining them to quarters or tracking them down kind of thing.
Tracking them down for
Okay.
as a start. Yeah.
Okay. Um, Uh, let me check in with Jolene first, and then I'm gonna come back and we'll do the Varric arriving on that scene. That we can get that a little bit resolved before we cut back to the planet. Jolene, who do you want to
I
play
got an idea
here?
for Tsatasa. So
Okay.
yeah, I think sensors, internal comms are all down, and she's trying to figure this out. Where's the source of the problem? And she's, going right at it. We need to get communications back up with not just everyone, we need sensors inside the ship
Yeah.
working.
You've got
We also
three
need to
things.
get
You got
communications with
three
the
things that are
planet.
down.
Yeah.
You've got internal sensors, sensors short range to the planet, and communications to the planet. So
All
those are
right.
the three
Lieutenant Ward, what did you
things.
want worked on first?
Sensors, please, Tatasa.
Okay.
Internal or
Internal first.
all right, yeah. So she's gonna try to locate the source of the internal sensors. And she knows her ship, so the first bonus D20 she purchases is free. So, oh, am I on a delay? I'm just seeing a bunch of stuff in the chat happening right now.
Oh, I was responding to the question there about the security lockdown trait.
All right, so presumably engineering and
So this would be, I think reason is actually control.
okay, all right. So 13 or less. None of our focuses matter. So ah, how do I get rid of that? Okay. Well, one success.
One success.
That's okay.
Uh,
Should have spent that determination. You know what? I'm gonna spend that determination now.
okay. So
Uh,
reroll the two fails.
yeah.
What is her value?
Don't judge a book by its cover.
Okay. Um, how is that coming into play here? What do we see that tells us that she's relying on that to push
I think
through?
maybe like there's some argument with some others on the engineering staff and like, what are you doing? Like, there's probably still some suspicion because last time Vost was involved was the Haskell thing, so the people like
Yeah.
rumor milling, and she's like, God damn it, I've worked so fucking freaking hard. Hey, there we go.
So we've got
That's three successes
three
total.
successes. Okay, that is enough for one of those three things to be fixed.
Cool.
So internal
Well, the
sensors?
internal sensors was the primary, so.
Okay. Uh, at that point, as we do that, I just spent a threat. I think you will see a couple of security people coming into engineering,
Hmm.
and they will say, Lieutenant Tatasa,
It's
we're to put
Lieutenant
you
Commander.
under observation.
Excuse me?
Captain's orders. Um,
Well, the captain's not on the ship currently. Lieutenant Ward, I don't think.
um, uh, uh, Captain Ward, uh, uh, we're here at engineering. You said to confine the people on the doctor's list to quarters. Do you want us to take the chief engineer in?
Um, that is not what my orders. Uh, my orders were to establish that they were on their jobs and not part of the saboteurs. Who is this?
And the security ensign will be. I'm sorry, that's what Tavilik said to us.
Okay. Well, thank you for ensuring engineering is secure. Please remain there under Lieutenant Tatasa's orders.
Yeah, Lieutenant Ward, we have internal sensors up and running.
Excellent work, Tatasa. Let's let everyone know.
Varric, you will arrive. Um, and I think we do see that scene with you and Tavilik kind of moving through here, and you will come upon Ensign Faraga like at a panel, like with the the light thing playing with the sensor thing. She clearly thinks that she's doing something to sabotage the Borg ship, but she's playing around essentially with the photon torpedo launcher right now.
Oh my god. Ensign Fraga, it is Varric. Ensign Fraga.
Clearly not hearing you. You're going to have to do something to get her attention to break through this. What do you want to do, Varric?
I approach her, and I kind of put my hand on her shoulder. Ensign Fraga, please stop what you are doing.
Let's have you make a presence plus command roll.
Okay. Presence plus command. Oh boy. Xenopsychology?
I like it. Yes.
Not that it will do much for me.
It is only difficulty 1 because she does have a trait of Varric fanboy.
More people should have that trait. 1.
1. So you will kind of break in and she will say, Dr. Varric, they captured you as well? Don't worry. I think I've got a way to cause an explosion.
Ensign Fraga, you are still on the Kintsugi. If you proceed, you will kill the entire crew. Put down the tool.
And I think she hesitates. Tefillik, what do you do? Do you let Varric continue, or do you stun her in her place? This is a good question for our security chief. Will?
Um, I think Tavelic, aims the phaser, pulls it, but then like has to hold back because of you know, um, Fargas, he's open to everything. Perhaps it's
Okay.
open to Varric finding a better way than simply phasing his friend in the back. So if I can get a point of determination not to simply
I like
resolve.
it. Yeah, yeah. Varric, what is it you say that breaks through? How do you crack through? How do you get her out of this loop? What is it you say?
I mean, Tavelic's going to go. I can't shoot her in the back, Doc. Can you mind meld her or something?
Well, I'm wondering if I've been with my hand on her shoulder, um, doing something with a tricorder in my other hand to kind of, I don't know, reboot her cybernetics or kind of do something like that.
I think that's perfect. I think that we see that you're talking to her, keeping eye contact, but your other hand is on that tricorder. And I think that we do see you hit the button and she will drop
Yeah.
unconscious there. Lieutenant Ward, can I come back to you just briefly before I go to on planet? Um, uh, and you will uh, uh, whoever is handling the long range sensors, since a lot of people are on repairs, will say, Lieutenant Ward, I think, sorry, long range scans are showing 2 Dominion ships dropping out of warp.
Red alert. Uh, we have sensors at least.
Internal, yes, and long range.
Well, let's just bluff them. Uh, they may recognize us from Vate's the captain's earlier encounter.
Absolutely. We'll come back to the scene on the ship and we'll start with you at that point. Vate, uh, Devel, we're back on planet, and I think we've marched through the woods, and we come out and we see the set piece. This is our like pseudo fantasy or pseudo cyberpunk or pseudo steampunk. Like there's an aesthetic here that tells us that it's not Federation tech, but it's a weird amalgam. What what is the architecture here? Let's start with you, Commander Vate. Is it a castle? Is it a building? What is it we see here for this House of Candles, the Farseers hold?
I think the Farseers Hold is a treetop clearing, suspended in the trees around a great rock, like an obelisk in the middle.
Okay.
That's quite large, and like huts and things are built into the trees on top of around the base of the stone. Whatever followers this Farseer has, and the Farseer's place is up at the top of this obelisk.
Absolutely. It is large. I mean, this is a city. It spreads out deeper into to the woods from here. What's another detail about this location, this site that we're seeing, uh, Ward?
I think, maybe from in that angle, they look like normal trees, but I think we see, when the camera pans down, it's almost like anti-gravity mangroves, right?
Okay.
Where we can see the exposed roots just going into the earth, going down towards the earth. But people are obviously active underneath those in the crawl space, so to speak.
I like it. Dr. DeVell, what is another thing we see here? A feature, a design, an architecture, something botanical. What do you think?
Oh, I think a lot of their they've got I don't know, a very open their this roofs can like easily be open so they can like see the sky, see the void better.
Yeah, I like it. They've got some mechanical stuff to open it up to the sunlight. It's clearly built with that in mind, that kind of open air. And Jurez, what is something that Jurez notices here about this place?
Um, uh, a, it uses they're very very large pack animals that sort of blend into the trees, but they're hooked up to harnesses and things like that that kind of either make their way around the trees or are pulling things up and down, that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. It looks like these may be some kind of maybe breed stock from bio stuff that would have been brought with the original colony, plus other local things. So we get this wild setup, and we'll see the group being brought in to the bows of this place, and then brought up in kind of a montage until we get to this enormous, like central covered area. And again, this is a city that expends miles in directions from here. It is, populated, but you will be brought in, brought up, and when you arrive, there is a figure there, uh, older. He has some of that, and I've forgotten the name of the people, but the people with the sort of markers on their face, the people who could of the that could explore into other people's memories and so on. And he is there, and he will say, "Greetings, Captain Vate. We have been awaiting your coming."
Well, good to know I'm expected. So, how do we get to Vost?
it turns on much right now, it will require you to bring your skills to bear on the blade. You have not fully connected with that, but you will need it. If you can do that, you may be able to gather the power that is necessary to make your way to the Matrix Palace to face her and to speak with the Roy.
Do I have to?
No,
I spoke with the boy before. He's suppose another conversation with the Gata Roy is a small price to pay for saving a planet.
and you will see that this is or like Ocean, we have him in the NPC tab, and he will say, "I have summoned the Echo Keeper," and he'll gesture to this woman who's also standing there. Uh, she is head of the House of Rings. Um, we will give you our gifts combined with your blade. You may then have enough strength to defeat her, as she has hold of three on her own.
And he looks like kind of, exhausted at the idea of going along with all of this stuff. And he says, now, mine didn't come with a manual. I don't suppose you have one?
There is no manual, Captain.
Well, we should move fast. My ship. You understand ship?
I understand that she wishes to take the vessel that is used to go to the far places, to the far lands.
Yes. And that he looks up and he points up at a star in the sky and he says, that might well be the Kintsugi right up there above us. But uh, the Kintsugi, our vessel, is not the only vessel that flies through the far lands. There are other powers, and they are dangerous too. So we must be fast. He pulls out the blade and he says, show me.
And he will uh, kind of take from himself this thing that you saw the image of before, that Scythel showed to Dr. DeVell, and kind of holds it up, and you will see uh, the other person, the Echo Keeper. She will draw off of her forehead a torque, and that is the point at which you will hear some kind of sound of a weapon go off, and you will see the Farseer start to drop to the ground, and you will see Scythel and two others of the renunciates have weapons up, and she says, "We will be taking that for the Empress."
Dun, dun, dun.
Uh, we would cut to a commercial break. So let's take five. We're going to come back and deal with that scene and then go back up to the ship there. Does that sound reasonable? Okay. So we're in a combat situation here. We've got Scythel, a shocked Valak, and then some of the other renunciates. And I think, of course, we can see that kind of the look on Seithel's face has changed, and she has shot the astropath who has fallen. The his device has, is on the floor, has skittered on the floor. I think Vate, you have the torque from the Echo Keeper, but we're in the middle of this sort of crisis situation. So let's start with the person who perhaps is most shocked by this, Dr. DeVell.
Ah, I may. Yeah, she's totally taken aback and like, God damn it. Just God's damn it. And I guess, what are you doing? There's an she's gonna try to talk them down. She's just like, I know you think you're doing the right thing working for your Empress, but there's no victory in this for you. There's no glory. She's going to be brought down. Do you really want to fall with her?
I think this is a very difficult thing.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think this is presence plus command, which is to your advantage.
Mm,
But
yeah,
uh,
still.
I think it's four to get her to hesitate.
Oof. Oof. Um, does my
But
Orion
but
trait
but
help at all?
I will still say it's four, but I'll also give you a chance to like two successes to get her to focus her attention on you.
Okay.
How does that sound?
That sounds good. Sounds good. Definitely spending my determination
Okay. So
and
two successes out of the gate?
yeah, the Hounds of Love.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's the one that makes most sense here.
Yep,
And yeah, focus wise, I don't really have anything out of that.
that's right.
So it's not really, I don't think etiquette's gonna matter here.
You.
So I might as well spend the one momentum that we have.
Okay.
So all right. Oh, baby girl, why'd you do this? Hmm. Well, that's two, right?
That is two, four. So she does hesitate there, doesn't fire the weapon, doesn't lunge for the
Oh
object on
no.
the floor immediately, right?
It's only three successes total.
Okay, then her
Yeah, that's
attention is on you as she's moving towards the object to grab it up, weapons
yeah.
out. Uh Juris, you've been nervous, scared, trigger happy. Now they get these psychics. They threw people around with telekinetic force before. Who knows what they can do? What do you do? What's happening?
I 100% discharge my rifle.
Okay. Are you shooting Scythel, the leader person, or are you shooting some of the secondary personnel there?
No, I'll shoot Scythel.
Okay.
I feel for some reason the need to keep her away from this device.
Okay. All right. So difficulty is two.
Okay. That was who rolled all those dice?
That was me.
Oh, okay.
I was checking for
Uh,
something.
difficulty two. What? And I assume this is daring and
It is
security.
daring plus security.
Okay, so 13.
Shooting is actually control plus security.
Oh, control plus security. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's right. The
14.
leg, the two-handed Kirk swing is daring.
Yes. Yeah.
14. Okay. That's a crit.
That is a crit. So you will hit her. It's a stun effect, and she will take essentially the base value. So she does take that hit from the stun. Doesn't drop there, but does take that hit.
Um, he has a focus of photon rifles. Does that make it 3
No,
successes? Okay.
no. But so and you had the rifle. So it is a more significant hit. She will kind of dodge
Stumble back.
back. You have the sense that maybe she has some psychokinetic energy that dissipates some of that, but she doesn't drop there. But she's definitely hurt.
I kind of advance on the device too.
Okay. Uh, uh then we're going to come to Tofir.
Yeah, I was thinking of jumping on that device that Velok had dropped
It's
in
fitness
the
plus
chaos.
security, difficulty two to get it before anybody else can.
Okay, well, let's see what. Sorry, fitness plus security. So that's a flat 10, right? What could possibly go wrong? 2.
Look at that. So what does that look like? Like, how do we see you do this in a surprising move here for Denobulan?
Listen, Tuffer is the youngest or near enough from his Denobulan family, and winning the fight for food is something he is well capable of. So, you know, scrabbling over the hard ground and grabbing it like starvation is his only motivation.
So Captain Vate, looks like Scythel has been hit. We've still got some NPCs who are about to open fire, but
These,
well, the object has been grabbed.
yeah, these two NPCs, are they stood close to each other?
Well, there's probably like we'll say, four of them total. There are at least two of them that are close together, let's say.
Yeah, well, uh, Vate sees Tofir dive atop the relic, uh, and Juarez hits Cypher with a stun phaser, and he rolls underneath. I think that's phaser blast, and comes up in a roundhouse kick to the like a ridiculously spinny, flippy kick that only that like some Romulan martial art
Okay,
is going to try and like fight two of them at once. Occupy two of them so they can't shoot.
absolutely. So let's have you do that. Difficulty two to hit one of them.
Uh-huh.
Well, actually, but let me do it this way. So difficulty one to hit one of them, difficulty two to hit both of them.
Cool. Well, that would be daring plus security, which is a
Yep.
16. And I have a focus of hand-to-hand combat.
Okay.
And we have no momentum left. So let's just hope for the best. Well, that's a crit.
There's a crit, so there's two successes. So your intent is less damage knocking them out and more knocking them back and getting them off the table for the moment.
Yeah, I think like that roundhouse kick, connects with like whatever hand is the outstretched hand holding the gun, right? And then I guess ultimately disarming them would be the big thing I'd like to achieve there.
Okay. So yeah, knock them back, knock the weapons out of their hands. Scythel and the other two are going to go. Scythel is going to gesture at the photon rifle carrying person, and is going to try and hit you. So that will definitely hit. So you are going to take 7 stress.
In this drop down menu, do I indicate how much stress I have or how much stress it's reduced?
Uh, oh, you don't have a value yet, do
No.
you? No.
Should I?
So you go down. Actually, it's you're a supporting character that has not yet been developed. So one hit will take you out.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. What does that look like? Like she does this telekinetic thing. What happens?
I think I get thrown back into just some of the furniture,
Okay.
and it not topples over a bunch of rickety chairs, and
Okay.
I'm down.
Crashes through that. Uh, uh, we're going to take a shot at the person who grabbed up the object there. So that will miss with that ranged attack. And the other one is going to take that shot at Tofir as well. That will hit. Uh, Tofir, you're going to take 6.
Fear also doesn't have a value.
Also, in we barely knew him red shirt territory.
Yeah. These are
Um,
hit you, knocks you down. What do we see happen?
I think Tofir is kind of getting up to his feet, raising the artifact, uh, not quite triumphantly, but satisfactorily, and then gets shot in the back and just ragdolls it onto the ground, and maybe the artifact like rolls out of his hands, maybe towards fate. I don't know. Um,
I like that. Uh, Devel, a couple of your people are down. She's been hit once. Two of them have been occupied by Vate. There's still a couple up. What do you do?
Yeah, she's gonna pull out her phaser and, you know, clearly there's no talking anyone down from this. So, set phasers to stun.
Let's have you roll that.
So that's control and security, right?
Control plus security.
Okay.
Difficulty 2.
Well, you know. Ah,
Well, look
two
at
successes.
you. 2 successes. So you will take that shot and you will drop her. Okay. Captain Vate, how do you take out these other 2?
Uh, what I'd like to do is grab one, twist them around, and hold the blade to their throat, and tell the others that it's over. You
I
know?
think I think that's perfectly fair, and I think that's where we'll kind of like cut that moment, that scene, uh, perhaps with Jura's kind of shakily getting up off the floor, and Tofir having that crystal in their hands but wounded. Does that seem like a fair a button to that?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'd love if we don't know if Tafir is dead or not, right? There's just
Okay.
the body holding the thing, right? For dramatic tension. Who knows, right?
Uh, Ward, let's come back up to the ship here. You picked up 2 Dominion ships. Attack ships have apparently dropped out of warp there.
so I guess my question is, how close are they? Can we make a run for it, or are we
Absolutely. Yeah,
pretty
you could
much
you
okay?
could you could easily make a run for it. They're far enough away that you would have time to leave planet, but you have to break orbit and leave your friends behind.
Yeah, so what I'm thinking of is that we're going to buy some time and maybe draw them away from investigating the planet a little bit closer. So, and also give ourselves some time to get all of our sensors and comms back up. Um, so, I guess it's Ensign Mahoney, get us out of here. Uh,
We'll have you do this with
Three quarters
your
impulse.
I think we still use your kind of control plus con to represent that, if that's okay.
Sure.
You could always give me
Um,
a threat if you wanted an extra die on this.
I think I'll keep them close, but not that close.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, 2 dice at not actually of the con, so I'm not sure my helm operations will have any effect, right?
Right.
Uh, okay, let's roll the dice. That's 1 success.
1 success. You are trying to get clear, but they are on your tail. They are coming in. It looks like you they are sweeping in almost as if they know where you are headed and are coming to pinion you. You're going to have to decide, do you stay here in system or do you flee out? Everything in your mind and your senses is telling you that you need to bug out of here.
I mean, that would certainly be by the book, but I'm not leaving my people behind,
Okay.
right?
Give yourself that determination.
So yeah, I think I will order us to turn right around and to let off a wide pattern of phasers just to keep them honest. We don't have those close range sensors back up and running fully, so it'll be a bit of a just a warning shot.
Okay. I think this is going to be control plus security for this.
Okay. Oh, and sorry, a comment there. Do we roll a
Yes,
ship die as well for
you do
that?
get the ship die for this.
Okay. So let me roll my two first. Two successes and one for the ship. Yeah, another one of these. It looks like an 11, but the readout says 16, so
Okay.
just two successes.
So right now you are you fired that off and you are moving and dogfighting with them if that seems reasonable to you.
And at some stage during that exchange, it'll be Tatassa, where are we with those sensors? Um,
Let's
slash comms.
let's cut to Tatasa.
All right, yeah. Which was the second most important thing that you wanted?
Ooh, I guess external sensors. Let's see
Right.
what we can see first.
Okay. So yeah, she gets that first bonus one for free. So
Yep.
um, engineering and control.
Yes.
Okay, that's 13. Her stats are so weird. I love them. Well, she got two successes.
Two
I think.
successes. So you
Yeah,
will
two
be able
successes.
to get that system up. But at first you think there's something wrong with it still.
Huh.
Because the systems you've just got up and ready aren't showing there's any ship out there that is attacking, while the long range scans are showing that there is a ship out there and coming in. And I mean, you can feel the inertial dampeners. They're clearly being fighting there.
Huh. Captain, we have a problem, and we're gonna work to figure it out, but there may or may not be a ship out there. Short range sensors are saying there's no other ships.
Well, is there any way we can prove it one way or the other? How about we make ourselves a sitting duck and amp the shields up and see if we get hit, right? That's
Tvilic grips hold of the console as Ward says that and
Yes.
goes, "Oh, we could fire a torpedo."
which would prove
Well, it'll go if it hits, it'll go straight through it. It's a solid object, as opposed unlike the phasers. It's not locked to a position. So if the torpedo goes straight through, then they're not real.
The same can be said with the phasers, though.
I know, but sci-fi logic.
I mean, I've got to throw a dog a bone. I've got to give
Yeah.
Tvilic a chance to
Go for
hit
it.
something hard, right?
Tvilic, make that attack roll with the phasers.
Feels like the security chief in Lower Decks when he finally gets to
Yes.
Eject the warp core.
Yeah.
So that is control plus security. Is that right?
That is
Yep.
an attack. Yes.
14, and I roll the ship die as well, right?
Yep.
Weapons and security, I guess.
Oh, great. That's a success on the ship die.
That is
Yeah.
success on the ship die.
But yeah, how many did I need though?
And
Got a
well, you need two
determination you
successes
rolled
to hit.
Okay.
Do you want to
So-
re-roll that with your determination?
Yes, sure. Security is a science, and so
Okay.
he's a
To
very
avoid that complication, at least.
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
I
Sure.
would love if the complication was, oh, actually, there are two Dominion ships here.
Yeah,
It makes Itasa feel real bad.
that's two failures ago, I
Two
think.
failures again. I think you will fire that off again. And while you will, like, that will pass through there, I think that there was some damage to the weapon systems, and I think the ship is going to suffer a breach.
Oh,
Essentially, and uh, that
one
you
of
will,
these one of these dream people that we didn't know was a dream person
yeah,
has
your
this weapon. Yeah.
console sparks and weapon systems are offline. But those are definitely, we see that almost like cloaking that says that those were illusions.
Well, we've got good news and bad news, Ward.
And I looked back at the security console, and the sparks are coming out of the torpedo control. You don't say, Tavalik.
Uh, Mr. Varick, do we want to check in with you? Do we want to see what you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm in sick bay, um, trying to revive and heal Ensign Varga.
Okay. Let's have you roll your reason plus medicine here.
All right, it's 15 with a certainly one of my focuses applies. Ooh. So two successes.
Two successes. I think that you will bring her up and awake, and she will come to, uh, and she will say, "Varric, uh, 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 what, where, um, where's the captain? Where's the captain?"
Uh, Commander Vate is on the surface of the planet, and Lieutenant Ward currently has command of the ship, but none of
She's
that
there.
matters.
She wants the blade. She's disguised herself. She's right there with him.
Um, we have no way of communicating with the surface.
And I think that she will look like shocked and like grab you like we have to warn them.
I understand that we have to warn them, but it is also important for you to get better. How would you like me to send them a message?
And I think that is the thing. You have to tell the captain.
I have an exceedingly old school Star Trek solution to this problem.
Fantastic. Uh,
Obviously, we do Morse code in phasers from the ship, right? Vate looks up, sees the message spelt out, you know.
Varric to Lieutenant Ward. I've revived Farga, and she's insisting that we get in touch with the captain.
With any message in mind. I'm sure he will be very pleased that she is well.
Farga, what is it that we need to tell him?
The woman that did this, she's right by him. She's disguised. I think we cut there to the planet and we see Vela go, oh my gosh, our himbo there, and kind of looks down and says, I had no idea. Uh, I'm so sorry uh, uh, that this happened.
They just shoves like his captive down on the ground and steps over to Tofir. Uh, Tofir, are you with me?
A bleary eye opens, and I think he says, in kind of delirium, in pain and delirium, I'm awake. I'll be up in 5 minutes.
And Vate smiles and just goes, "Good job." And he's going to pull out that artifact that Tofir had rolled over and was clutching in one hand. I'm going to pick it up, and I suppose give you a threat to invoke my ESP to gain an insight into these objects, given that the
Absolutely.
psychopath appears to have taken one in the
Yes.
chest.
I think that is perfectly fair. Um, I think that we see Devel, you're maybe kind of still kind of you're checking on people, kind of a little bit
Yeah.
shocked by what
Like
happened.
securing people that are down
Okay,
that, attacked us.
absolutely. And I think that our himbo is standing there by Captain Vate. And I think as you pick this up, Vate, I think there is a brief flash in your mind uh, as this object, this Farsing object, and for a second, you will realize that it's not Velek standing beside you as the blade is coming in to strike you in the back. What do you
Well,
do?
I think that's definitely you know, like an instinctive, like step out of the way and twist around, drawing the blades, my blade as well. We're really ripping off another franchise for a few minutes here.
Absolutely. I think I'm going to do fitness plus security for you to dodge this attack.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
pretty good
going
at
to spend my threat that you gave me to roll an extra die for my attack here.
fuck you.
It's interesting when it gets stacked up. So I have 3 successes, but no crits.
3 successes. Then I'd like to buy momentum with by giving you a threat, I suppose.
Absolutely. I will
Yeah,
take that threat.
yeah. And I will roll 3 dice.
Okay.
Do you have two determination of that?
I do. But that is three
That's pretty
successes,
well.
Three
and
successes.
I have a focus of hand-to-hand combat.
Uh,
And I rolled a 3 and a 7.
so that's 4 successes. So you've got a momentum.
Yeah, I'd like to put that in the pool, please.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is a classic Star Trek one-on-one here for a moment there, if you don't mind,
Yeah.
so that we can do this showdown. I think she falls back. She's got her blade. You can see that she has the the chain, and she has essentially the matrix of illusions, which is what she's been using to conceal herself here. And she misses with that shot, and I think we see her raise that blade up, reverse grip, and begins to circle and is saying, "You have no idea how to use that blade, and you do not deserve it, Vate."
Don't worry, I know how to use a blade. He tosses it and catches it in another grip hand, right? And yeah, I guess we dun, 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 dun.
Absolutely. We get the full riff, the modernized version of that. I will save my threat, but I will roll her to avoid your attack. I've got 2 successes,
Okay.
and you have a momentum.
I have 2 successes.
Two
Uh,
successes.
yeah, and
Do you want to?
hand-to-hand combat,
Yeah,
but that doesn't go below. It has to be below the.
equal to or below your security.
Yeah, okay, so no.
Well, your security is a 5, isn't it?
Yeah. So I didn't get anywhere close to it to get a focus to apply.
Okay. So you will come at her, and essentially we'll see that parrying there. I will check in. Tavel, what do we see you doing?
She's lining up a shot to shoot her in the back. Is like, this is ridiculous. She's clearly a wanted fugitive, and there's no need to risk the captain's life in a knife duel.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna spend that determination.
Okay.
Good
Difficulty
leaders,
4 with her psychic shields here.
all right. Good leaders get their hands dirty. That's what I'm using.
Okay.
Ugh, 4. Jesus. Well, 13 or lower.
We got 2 already.
Yeah. That was so close. No, no.
So you will take that shot. It will scatter across that psychic field that she's kind of using to protect herself and keep herself locked in there in that duel with Vate. Uh, Tofir.
Um, yeah, I
Weird.
think, sorry. Um, Still on the ground, and maybe the jewel is coming a little bit close to me, and I just reach out with a hand to grab an ankle of Vost. And maybe this is me helping the captain in the next.
Create a trait, fitness plus security, to try and unbalance.
Yeah, it seems unlikely to that I'll roll 2 successes, but
Stranger things
uh,
have happened.
stranger things have happened. Like the last time I rolled security and
Yes.
got 2 successes. Let me try 2 10s.
Two tens.
Yeah.
So unbalanced trait. Suddenly, somehow you push through. You were close enough that you're kind of inside that field that she's got, and Vate, you will see Tofir grabs the ankle there. What do we see Jerez doing?
He's not unconscious.
They essentially Devel said that she was bringing folks around.
Oh, okay. I mean, I think he's going to shoot her in the back too,
Okay.
or the front. Can he get a
Uh,
clear shot with the captain in the way?
I think that there's a strong risk of you shooting the captain when they're locked up in one-on-one in this duel here.
Nope. Nope. Juris is overconfident.
Okay. Complication range 19 or 20.
Uh, control plus security.
Yes.
2 successes.
2 successes. So that will hit with that rifle. Again, with difficulty 4 to get through. But I do think we see, that second phaser blast go across that. I think that is taxing her energies there. Vate, she's going to get a slash at you. And I've got just 2 successes.
Okay. Fitness plus security.
Yep. Look at you.
3 successes.
So you get a momentum,
Yeah.
and then it's your action.
Yes. What could I spend the momentum to do now?
You could get an extra D20.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just use it for this dice roll anyways
Oh,
as
yeah.
I return the attack.
Do I have any threat left? No, I've spent all my threat.
And we have the trait of unsteady, right?
Yes.
Unbalanced. So what does that do?
So her difficulty to hit her is a 1 right now.
Perfect. Three, 4 successes.
4 successes. Tell me what that looks like with this blade when you drop her. What is the drop her? Is it holding a knife to her throat? Is it actually stabbing her? Is it the energies go out and hit her? Like, what do we see? You get to define the fiction here of what you want to have happen. Does the blade possess you? Do you use your energy? What do you think?
I want it to be Vate. She's unbalanced. She's thrown up across to fear, like completely tangles her legs up, and she stumbles down. And Vate plunges the dagger like directly into her chest as she like tries to get back up again. But like the blade just like her blade erupts into like blinding white light, and his does as well. And it just there's like a moment of like like a field off each other, and then both artifacts explode into like shards of blade rather than like the blade, and I'd like her to go down screaming, like badly caught in like the thing, and Bait to just turn around and have like little fragments of the blade like all embedded like
I
under his.
like it. I like it.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, and I think she will hit the ground and she will say, I knew you had it in you. I knew you had it. And then the light will fade out of her eyes. Devel, what do we see you do?
I guess she's just making sure everyone's okay. Like, all right, is she actually doing a little quick scan,
Okay.
see if there's any life left in her? If
Think
so, gonna try to resuscitate her just so we can take her into custody.
I think you will go over and these strange energies that have been released. She is certainly dead,
Okay.
killed almost instantly by the explosion of
I'm
that.
gonna take a scan of this energy.
Okay. I think you'll feel it. It's surrounding Captain Vate. I think you will see that
Yes.
it's not just the fragments of his blade that are embedded, but it's the fragments of both blades that are embedded in his face.
How's it look, Doctor?
I've seen worse, but we will need to get you into med bay as quick as possible to try and remove these shards.
And I want to cut to the ship. This is sometime after that scene. People have returned back. There has been a discussion and a negotiation with the leaders of the houses down on the planet. Um, Vate, I think you're back. Are you in? Do we see you in med bay, or do we see you back in your captain's ready room?
Back in the captain's ready room with some futuristic bandages across his face, or like across like they're still deciding what the future makeup will be, right, for this
Right.
change. But at the moment, it's just bandages. Um, yeah.
And I think you're getting a briefing from essentially you have a staff who's kind of a specialist in legal and negotiation and those things, and is saying, so we've spoken to the leaders of each of the houses that remain. They've agreed to set up communications with us. Uh, it looks like with that matrix that they have, they will be able to cloak their presence if other ships come into the systems, and we can set up a warning beacon for them should that occur. That seems like the most reasonable solution for the moment, Captain.
Roy, what happened to Roy?
As far as we can tell, his consciousness is inside the matrix that they are using.
Well, I suppose he mainly got his legacy. Uh, um, I say, did we manage to get any of his research?
Captain, this is kind of a first contact situation, so I haven't pushed it further than that. Just they have agreed to communicate with us over, and perhaps we will be able to gather some of that. But
Understood. Kintsugi is here as long as Starfleet needs us to be.
well, I'll be speaking with the teams. There were a number of them did want to leave planet, but we can't do that at this point. But I have promised them that we will send another ship soon.
Uh, Understood.
And he will leave. Now, I wanted to have a chance for you for people to call sort of the end scenes here. Particularly, Captain, you talked about wanting to resolve the decision between the Deval Ward thing. Do you want to do that now, or do you want to hold off on that?
Hmm. I think let's hold off on it for the start of next session,
Okay,
perhaps.
but I do want to have you do a scene with them,
Yeah, yeah.
either with both or with one of them, and then I want to give Varric a scene. We're going to give everybody a chance to call a scene, but what do you want, Captain?
Um, I think I want to see with Ward.
Okay,
Yeah.
uh,
Um,
called into your ready room. Do you go to where she's at?
yeah, I go to Ward's room,
Okay,
which she used to share with Adira Lee, correct?
yeah.
Yeah. You know, ring, do the ring the doorbell, and yeah, it opens up, and Lieutenant Ward, may I come in?
Please, Commander, please come in.
Thank you. Steps inside, looks around the room, goes over to, what memento of Lee do you still have in the room?
Um, yeah, I think it's something like in obvious. Like maybe it was in Ward's bedside locker when they shared the room, and when they kind of moved into separate quarters, it got left behind. Uh, I think it is something like I don't think we ever established what Adira did in her um,
In her off time? No, I
in
think,
her holodeck.
yeah,
Maybe it's something very Star Trekky, like a baseball, right? There's a baseball.
yeah, exactly, a baseball. Picks it up, you know. She had a hell of an arm, didn't she? Uh, I guess I don't need to read your mind to know what boss sent to your dreams. What? I just want to check in, you know. We're all seems like the Kintsugi's been haunted recently by our past. Very dramatic, melodramatic dialogue, right? But I'm hoping that everything's going to be better now. I'm hoping that you're okay with it.
Um, well, sir, maybe it speaks to my state of mind that until Vost actually came up on that viewing screen, I had considered that that was just a regular nightmare, not some kind of psychic foray. But yeah, um, I have to say that I'm glad we don't have to deal with Vost anymore. I think that's maybe a a statement unbecoming a Starfleet officer, but that's the truth.
You won't get any disagreement from me. I'm sure that's the last we'll see of her, he says as he traces his hand across his bandages for a second. And maybe there's like, the camera whispers or something, from just his point of view. And he shakes it off and says, I'm going to go check in on Fargo, but I want to say, Ward, you did well today. If those were two Dominion ships, well, I think you made the right call. Starfleet may not see it that way, but I do.
Well, permission to conduct a thorough examination of our sensors, sir. I think we need to find out exactly what was going on, how much of that was in our minds, and how much speaks to the job Farga did on us.
I understand that Ensign Fargo has volunteered for triple overtime. Uh, I've told her that only if she really wants it. But I'm sure she'd love an extra pair of hands, Ward. And Ward, maybe speak to Mr. Varick about your dreams.
I already have a slot in the schedule.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm happy to call
Okay.
that scene. Yeah.
We've mentioned Varric in that scene, so I think we want to cut to seeing Varric in the aftermath of this. What do we see him doing?
I um I think I'm sitting in the holodeck with Ensign Farga, and I say I'm worried at how quickly your cybernetics were used to exploit you, and I think we need to take steps to help you assert your human side, um, if to prevent such a thing from happening again. This is a prescription from your doctor. And I say, computer, run program. And the lights dim, and we are in a theater watching a show.
He does the idiot that does the whisper like you do. What? Why are we
Just wait. And I don't know what show. Maybe like a classic Rogers and Hammerstein.
here? Okay.
Yes.
You see her kind of look over, and she's about to say something, and then she looks at you. She looks at you, you're a Vulcan, and you see her go, okay, clearly sets herself in that way that obviously Mr. Varric knows what's what. Mr. Varric, how do we know as the camera goes away that you are enjoying the show?
Um, I mean, facial expression does not change um, uh, a little bit. I think camera pans down. We see him tapping his foot along to the music. Camera pans back up, and we see him mouthing the words perfectly.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Very nice. Dr. DeVell, I want to give you a chance to call a closing scene here.
Okay, I think Devel and Andara Kamalo are working out, doing like some holodeck training program type thing. And it's like, uh, so Andara, you've got probably the second best idea of what this ship needs as an XO. Do you have any insight? Do you know who, what's going on with the captain and this first officer thing? I know, I'm sorry, I hate to bring it up because,
I don't
like,
know. I don't think he can decide.
uh, I
I
don't know.
mean,
I mean, I've seen him in action. He is very decisive when it comes down to it. So,
I mean,
like, it should be Ward, right?
I
She's got the experience on this ship.
yeah, here's the thing is I think that you need to tell him that, but in a way that lets him like that you tell him you want the next post that comes up or that you want the recommendation. Like you've got to give him a way out. I don't know.
Okay. Great work with
And
the
with
the
the
legal stuff that I heard you were. That seems like an entire mess, and I should know. I was there.
yeah, uh, she will stop and she will say, keep in mind, like he wasn't on command track before, and I think he's still getting used to that. I mean, he's decisive, but
Yeah, no, I understand. Field promotions, they happen. We're at war.
yeah, but he's solid. I trust him. I've always trusted him.
Yeah, I mean, what? I've not seen any reason to not trust
No,
anyone on this ship, so.
but you really don't want to be first officer, huh?
No, that's not it. I would love to be first
No, no, but you
officer.
know what I mean. You're willing. to step back in this case?
I mean, yeah. Yeah, I guess I
Okay,
am. I want it, but like, you know, this is my I just became chief of science on this ship.
absolutely. She says, I think the way you're feeling and the way you're going to express that is the thing that, like, shows everybody that they are wrong in whatever preconceptions they have about Orions. I think that's the way you do this.
Oh, yeah, good talk. Good
And
talk.
she will say, and I think it might be a way uh, to maybe build a bridge with Tatasa.
That's all right. Well, I don't yeah, she's I don't we don't get each other. It's fine. It's fine.
No, it's not. I know
All right.
you. You're not
It's
going to
okay.
give up on that at all.
No, you're right. I won't. But, I just think it's like, hey, wow, we're on the same ship and you don't want to deal with me at all? Okay, that's weird. This is what happens when you're raised among nothing but telepaths. You're like just one giant community.
And she said, I don't know from that, but having been on that planet for a while, yeah, that seems like not a great way to grow up.
I mean, well, I wouldn't say that. It's just it was a culture shock going to academy.
She says, and I'm sure it was a culture shock for Tatasa in a different way.
Yeah, that's true.
She wasn't raised by Daltons. She wasn't raised by people that could understand how she was feeling and help her through that.
Yeah. Well, I'm giving her some space, you know.
All right.
So,
And there's that nod
oh,
that says, okay, we'll see. We'll see
all
where
right.
this goes.
All right. Game back on.
Yeah. Ward, I want to give you a chance to call a scene here to cap this.
Um, yeah, I think I will call to Deval's room if that is okay, Julie.
Totally.
Um,
There's so many
because I,
plants. It's
yeah,
ridiculous.
no plans, no
It's
plans.
also like super humid and like, different lighting because, you know, she's got chlorophyll in her blood. So,
Um, crazy, crazy mission, huh?
yeah, that was unexpected. I didn't think I would meet the woman from my dreams on a planet, and then, she'd betray us. So that sucked.
Yeah. Um, I I got you something on Starbase 66, but I didn't have a chance on the way here
Oh,
to
that's
give it to you
so nice.
as a kind of thank you for all the coffee I've been taking off your hands.
Of course, I mean, it'll grow back, so
Yeah, but very slowly, right? Very slowly.
yeah, it's true. It's true. Unless, no, that would be irresponsible.
Yeah, so I'll hand over the kind of whatever package was holding the jewelry we bought on
Oh,
Starbase 66.
oh, wow, this is incredible. Thank you so much. And she'll like
Yeah,
immediately
well,
put it on. So what was it like? You know, this is the second time you've been in charge of the ship.
yeah. I guess I'm getting the hang of it. The hang of it is to just we make the decisions and let everyone else do the work, I guess. Which is difficult for me. I like to, get my hands dirty.
Get hands on,
So,
yeah. Well, I mean, there are hands-on captains, I'm pretty sure. Like, wasn't that literally his whole thing?
yeah, but I don't think captains ever put their hands on help controls. I think that is,
I guess it's like
a step too
emergencies
far.
only. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, that was crazy. You thought you saw two Dominion ships or something, I heard?
The sensors were messed up, and yeah, but Tassa, came through, and
Yeah, I don't know much about that Zenvost lady, but clearly the captain knew her, and I get from reports, read the mission briefings, but
yeah, amongst our least favorite guest, I think is
sounds like there's a few of
how we put
those.
it. There, um, yeah,
So you wanna head down to the graveyard and get something to drink?
yeah, I need one of those. Have you heard about these Klingon coffee based drinks? They're called Rakajino.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I haven't
Okay,
tried
well,
it, but
I just discovered it, so I'm going back to have more.
okay.
And I think we're going to cut on that scene there. And that will be our mission. Um, I would like to do stars and wishes, but before we do that, next session is lower decks, one shot. I need everybody to think of an ensign. Uh, Feel free if you wish to use one of the existing ones, we can. Though a Farga, I think, has been used in a lot of things that might not be appropriate for this. But I think Juriz would be perfect. He seemed a little freaked out, so he might be good for that.
Is the
But
is the yeoman eligible?
no, I think she's a little more
That's
uh,
fair.
uh,
That's
uh,
valid.
valid. But any species you want, and we will make up stats and things on the fly, and we'll get a taste, at least a little taste of what it's like to be lower decks on the Kintsugi, and why that is a little bit different from being lower decks on a California class or other ship. So
Is Lieutenant Tofir perhaps like, the lowest lieutenant on the ship? You know what
I,
I mean?
I
Or it might be like the one in charge normally of the lower decks crew. I
Well,
don't know.
we could certainly have him as the person who maybe is actually giving orders to the lower decks person. We can use him as the supporting leader person. Um, uh,
I would like to see Verwash in not being hell bent on doing bad
yeah,
stuff, right?
the poor Rigelian guy. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But think about that. If you want to talk with each other on the Discord about what you want to do, we can certainly do that. We've seen all kinds of species in there, so feel free. Let's do, though, I will do stars and wishes. Let's start with Jolene.
I'm muted. I should unmute. Big stars to Ward in the chair and feeling frustrated because like, well, I should be piloting. I'm really good at this. And like both things like this, stars, lol, both threats, psychic assault in space, and then he's like, no, here's the betrayal, and then like the fun knife fight, and then like, was it Tofir diving for the artifacts and making it? It was great all around. And wishes, I'm excited for the lower decks episode. So excited to see more of our crew's personal lives. That's always going to be my recurring bit.
Absolutely. Dan?
Yeah, shout out to Dr. DeVal for trying to find romance in all the wrong places. I feel like that is also going to be a recurring theme. I am really enjoying this uh, kind of budding relationship, situationship, friendship between Varric and Farga. Um, and uh, yeah, those are my stars. I enjoyed all those moments. Wishes for next time.
Or that mission after.
Let's see. I I am sort of mechanically curious about what are they called? My values, right? So I wanna try and earn some determination, but also try and challenge some of my values.
Okay. There's a fair wish. Donna.
Um, yeah, I liked this whole doctor-patient confidentiality piece that Varric had. Is like, okay, and maybe what I said in the chat. Let's see. My prime directive versus your doctor-patient confidentiality thing. Go for 3 rounds. I don't know. Um, And yeah, I think there was as usual, though, a great balancing act between the away mission and the ship. Um, I really liked that whole let's escape and use our kind of Star Trek ingenuity to do that, and then we get to a good old-fashioned knife fight, which yeah was great to see. And yeah, Dr. Val looking for love in all the wrong places. Uh, yeah, always good.
Anything
Um,
wishes wise?
um, yeah, I mean, I feel like today we had um, some good Ward Varric interactions, right? Including that very TV like, you should come down here and take a look at this, which only ever happens on TV shows, right? So maybe we can see something more of them together.
And Will.
Yeah, I love that we. This was a strange new world, really. When like it was a routine colony mission, but we encountered a very strange new world. And as we were finishing up, I was like, actually, it's one of the times we've really hit that note of like, this is a completely bonkers alien planet. You know, uh, with deep, which I really like. I really liked. I mean, I loved all the fantasy world building. Like, we're suddenly in the Game of Thrones spin-off series. Which I would watch actually if I think about it. But yeah, and I enjoyed that it wasn't dwelt on too much, like because obviously, actually in Star Trek, those sort of you want the Kirk fight and the Pit fight and the Klingon episode and everything, right? But in Picard, when they have a martial arts wielding like special effects thing, like you kind of like, oh, go back to the ships and everything at some point. You want it relatively quick and over with rather than dwelled on forever. I thought that was perfect, and thank you for letting me have the blades embedded in his skin. I was like, well, now I can have more of a reason not to have it separated from me, right? Uh, um, but yeah, I loved all the stuff. I loved Devel's heart to heart with the warrant officer at the end to get the goss, and I love Mr. Varric. And my wishes would be to ship Varric and Varga now that I know it, with exactly that sort of raised eyebrow, Dan. Yeah. And a general wish would be if there's some potential for like EVA scenes, which I know they don't happen much in Star Trek, but I do actually like when they remind you that you're in space, you know?
Well, I'm gonna tell you to preview. We've got one more mission that you're here for.
Mm,
So we're going to do lower decks, and then we got that final mission that you're here for. So I was going to tell you right now, we will have a space combat in that mission. We
sweet.
will have a big space fight, and we will see if we can also get an EVA search and rescue thing like
Cool.
mixed up in that as well. So I'm thinking about the stuff that we want to have here, but in the time that we have. So yeah, definitely. I'm going to stop the recording.